Now I see the chat, the poll. There it is. You can't hear me yet, though, right? That's working. Hello, everyone. Whoops, don't look. We're taking a small trip around the world here. Oops. Sorry, what a great start. All right, laugh with me. I know. I'm stressed. I'm scared. But I want to thank everybody for coming today. I'm going to just turn this the other direction so you can see it. I had it all set up on my phone just well. 1 second, please. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I'm so glad everyone's here today, and so many people have helped me get this set up for today, and I really appreciate that. And I'm grateful to Altenew for giving me this opportunity. And I know I'm saying I'll come down as soon as we start crafting, so let's start. I'm going to show you what we're going to be working with today. This is the card. This is the important message I wanted to share. I can't see the screen at all. There it is, but it's not moving. There we go. Have a little delay. This is my important message to you. Remember, you matter. Every card you send out reminds someone else that they matter. And this is today's card. There's quite a delay on my camera, so I can't see what you're seeing. Okay. Really pretty, beautiful flower. Lots of dimension. So we will be using Altenew's Craft-A-Flower Butterfly Ranunculus layering die set. So pretty. Beautiful. We'll be using the Petal Shaper tool set. I have, let's see, a card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5. I have a piece of pink diamond, a pink piece of solar white, and I have vellum. And these are set to 4 by 4 inches. I have one piece of green, and that's 3.25 by 4.25. And we're going to get started. Grab my wheel. My wheel is a stamp wheel. If you're not familiar with it, you should be. It's the greatest tool. It lets us stamp over and over in the same spot so that we can re-stamp it so that it comes out nice and clear. We're going to start with a piece of vellum. Oops. Sorry. You're going to need a circle, and the biggest part is the Regal Flourishes, which is so beautiful. It is amazing. You can see there's 2 big stamps with it. Can someone let me know in the chat if you're seeing the 2 stamps now, because I have a lot of delay. Okay, it must be a lot of delay because I'm not seeing any response. There's a bottom layer, which is thicker, covers more of the paper with the ink, and then the lighter piece has all the little beautiful details. I have some really pretty cards made with this on my Instagram post. So what we're going to do is take the bottom layer and go ahead and put it on the vellum piece. And then we're going to take our plate, which I have 3 embellishment dots down on the bottom. And I set it always on the bottom for me so that I know I'm facing the same way each time. I'm just going to rub it on there. And what this does is it lets you pick it up and it'll go back in the same spot. We're going to start with the vellum, and we're going to use the baby pink ink on this. We are going to be doing some heat embossing. Right now, we're just going to ink this up a couple times with the baby pink fresh dye ink, also from Altenew. Take a look. That looks pretty good, but I'm going to do another one just to make sure we're getting all that ink on there. I'm using thick vellum, not your flimsy vellum, because that won't take the heat very well. It'll shrink your page, curl your page, burn your page. This is nice thick vellum. Okay, and I'm actually going to heat dry my vellum, which many people will not do because of the reasons I just said. And I'm going to use my clothespin here. I saw this from someone. I don't know where I learned it from. Apologies if it's from one of you. And I'm going to heat this because we're going to be using the heat embossing after this. And we don't want the powder to stick to all of the ink. We're just going to want it in a little bit of the ink. I'll show you in just a minute. So this is our lightest layer. This will be the top layer the most. Okay, I'm going to set that one aside. We're going to do the same thing with the other colors. I'm going to put a piece in here. We're going to go to fuchsia, fresh dye ink. I'm not going to bother cleaning my stamp because it's pink and we're just going darker. So it's fine to go right over it. I'm going to put those 3 dots on the bottom. With a design like this, it doesn't really matter if it's upside down or not. But if it was a word, it would make a difference. If this was your card and you're putting your sentiment on, I'm back. Apologies, I didn't know I was frozen. That call that came in seemed to have disconnected me. Let me just put my rubber band. Okay, I apologize. Someone called, even though my phone is on Do Not Disturb, it went through and disconnected me. And I'm so sorry. So please give me one moment and I will set up my phone. And I'm sorry you're seeing me like this. I didn't want to be on camera, of course. Okay, so let's see. Let me just get this back. In the folder again. This never happens in my live classes. Now I understand why everyone says when you do a live, things happen. Well, you can't say I'm not persistent, right? Okay. 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 Can you hear me now? You didn't know this was going to be a comedy. Okay. Let's get this off of here. Sorry about that. I really do apologize. We had it all set up. You might see my friend Andrea pop in. She was helping me set up today on one of her apps, and I was panicking. I hope I'm not frozen again. Let's see. Let's see. We can hear you, but you cannot see me. Okay, let me look at that again. Oh boy. Okay. You should be seeing. Okay, how about now? Oops. Okay, I can no longer see the chat, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to go back over our image with the other stamp from the, but this is the detailed one. So we're going to set it down, and you can see there's a big leaf right here that kind of comes out off the edge. I'm going to try to line the stamp up with that, which is pretty easy to do. If you look at the stamp, you can see where the pieces are. So this lines up so easily right over it. I'm not going to worry about anti-static powder. Doesn't make a difference for this one. I'm going to pick up the stamp and I'm going to use my embossing ink. Oops, which is sliding all over. Oh boy. Okay. Not going to cry. Not going to cry. Seems like somebody wants me to, but I'm not going to cry. I've got to do it this way. Put it right on top there. If your stamp doesn't stick, like mine didn't, I just wet the back a little. Okay, now I'll ink it up again. And I'm gonna go right over. Whoa, it's too wet now. 1 second. Let's wipe it down. We're gonna go right over it with some of the Altenew Pure White Crisp Embossing Powder. Okay. I'm going to move this out of the way. Grab my piece of paper and pour it over it. And it should stick to the spots that the ink was on. It also got very wet, so it might stick in other places, but that looks good. Okay. Tapping off. Now, my number one, not rule, but advice is to always put your embossing powder back in your jar. Close your lid before you start your heat gun. Otherwise, you will be wearing lots of embossing powder. Not the best feeling in the world. Okay, and I use my clothespin again on a part that does not have the embossing powder. And I'm just going to heat it. Now, when you heat vellum, you want to move your heat gun. But like I said, this is very thick vellum. And I'm just going through. You can see a little bit of the pink coming through. This was the lightest one. This was the baby pink. And now it's getting all these beautiful white flourishes and buds and leaves and stems coming out on it. And you can always tell when it's embossed because it's shiny rather than the matte like the other side of this. Going to finish this up. It just takes a second. You can tell when you've done the part because it'll be bright and shiny as opposed to just looking like the powder, like a dullish color. Come on. Okay. Okay, that's one. It's very hot. Set it aside. Okay, going to take one of the other pieces. Doesn't matter which one. We're going to use the white embossing powder on all of them. Okay. Let me scooch it back up where you can see it. Hopefully you're seeing it. I can't see the chat. But if you're not seeing it, then you can come back for the replay. And I really appreciate you all being here. The support is just feels so wonderful. And we really had the tech set up where it was going to be a good, no mistakes kind of thing. I'm doing this twice just to make sure. And again, this is the detailed Regal Flourishes. Sorry about that. I bumped the camera. So I just go around it a few times. And I move my stamp wheel out of the way because I put it on my lap because I don't want to get the embossing powder on it. It's fine if you get the embossing powder, ink, if you spill your tea on it or your Mountain Dew, whatever, all you do is wash it. And it comes clean. Oops, just spilled some powder. It comes clean and it gets sticky again. If it ever loses its stick, let's say the embossing powder is blocking the stickiness. Okay, closing it up. I know, not fun every time, but trust me, you don't want to be wearing it. And see here, it doesn't even have to be perfectly lined up because we are going to make a spectacular card out of this. And the flower is just going to be beautiful. Now, while you're watching the magic happen here, you might want to cut a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 frayed leaf piece of cardstock. Speaking of which, today Altenew has given all of the people who come to my Instagram or here today a 10% discount off the Crafty Necessities cardstock. That is a great deal. That is the time to stock up. And the code and the link are in the chat, in the description. Sorry. You can find it there if you're interested. You can use it one time. So make sure you look and take inventory. And you know what? The jet black is one of my favorite cardstock because it is so black. It's beautiful. You know, when you want a good black paper for like your metallic paints, your watercolors, you know, we have 14 pan metallic watercolors that show up Oh, so beautifully on it. Okay, this one is done. We're almost at the fun point where we make that flower happen. Okay, you know the drill now. We've got the paper. We have the same leaf up in this corner. Makes it very easy to line it up. And this stamp set especially is really easy to line up. Has so many little details that you can look at to make it match. Okay, taking out my embossing ink. Altenew also has embossing ink. They have pigment inks, fresh dye inks. Some of you may have crisp dye inks. I still have a few. Okay. Roll it on there again. Do one more time. You know, you can swirl it like this, or you can go up and down. It really doesn't make a difference on this card. There will be plenty of texture and plenty of dimension. Okay, I'm going to take my stamp wheel away for now. Bring back my paper. Bring back my pure white crisp embossing powder. And just pour it right over it. Tap it off again. Okay. Put that away. This back on. Close the jar, right? And I didn't say this before, but when you spill any, like a little bit I missed, wipe it off before you use your heat gun. You don't want it sticking to your mat. I have some copper crisp embossing powder on here. I like it though. More sparkle, the better. More shine, the better. That's me. Bring the drama. Bring the drama in my cards only, not in life. You can really see the white popping on here. I love doing this part. You do it all day. I do it all day sometimes. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 8.5 piece of paper, 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to cut it in half, cut down, and bring this up. You're going to want your die cutting machine and a circle die that fills almost the whole thing up. And you're going to set up your sandwiches according to your system. This is Platinum 6, which Altenew also sells. You're going to fold your paper in half, set it down on your plate, and then we're going to do partial die cutting. We're going to cut the circle. Here's where the fold is, right here. We're going to cut the circle so that it's mostly on the paper, but that little bit is not on the paper. You see this little piece sticking out past the paper? I'm going to set that down, put my top plate on, and run it through. Make sure a little piece of it, just a little bit, is over the edge of the paper, over the fold of the paper. That's how you make the card open and close. And it does stand up beautifully. It's a beautiful card. If I say so myself, right? I was inspired by this stamp set and the Ranunculus, the butterfly Ranunculus Craft-A-Flower. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, there we go. Done with the die. Oh, not done with the die cutting. What am I saying? Sorry. Got ahead of myself. We have a bit of die cutting to do, but first we're going to take out our Jazzberry, which is the 4th color in the set. Altenew has their colors, most of them in sets of 4, so that you can have the light tones, a dark tone, and a couple of mid-tones. We're going to open it up and we're just going to swipe it, swirl it across that card front. And you may end up with a white ridge around. That's fine. Or you can just come around on the edges and just let it sit for a second as you do it, and it fills it right in. Quick second. And we're going to leave this to dry. You could always cut a second one the same time as the first one and adhere them together so that the ink won't show through. That's a good idea too. I'm going to move this out of the way and let that dry. I'm going to let the air get under it. Okay. Now we are going to do some die cutting. The pieces I'm going to use from the Craft-A-Flower Ranunculus, or Butterfly Ranunculus. Sorry, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm not sure. What we're going to do, I'm using the triangle flowers. The flowers, they have a keyhole system at Altenew. It works great. See this little triangle? And there are numbers next to them. And on this set, all of the triangles are on this piece. And it tells you this is the first layer. Put it down. Put the second piece on top of the first layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this across as much of this as we can. And we're going to run it through our die cutting machine. But you definitely want the first one, which is usually the biggest. This case, it's not. It's one of the smaller ones to be on the ink. And it's okay if some of it is on the white. It's fine. Just run it through. But we do want some of each layer. Sorry, my handle just fell off my die cutting machine. Okay, so see, it's cutting all of these. I'm going to pick up my perfect picker and pop them out. Try saying that 5 times fast. Perfect picker, pop them out. Perfect picker, pop them out. Not easy. Are you getting the idea of what we did here on this card? Okay, there's one more over here. Oop. That one didn't want to pop out. Perfect picker, pop them out. There we go. And what we're going to do is sort these so that we have the same pieces each time we cut a layer. Okay. Then we want to save our scraps for now. We're going to cut the pink next, the pink diamond. Set it up on your plates for your die cutting machine and roll it through. And go back. Okay. Save your scrap. We're just going to pick these out, pop them out. There's little holes in the dies. I'm sure most of you have used die cuts before, but maybe you haven't. I think they are magical. Now on this petal, let me show you. This little piece got cut off. So all I'm going to do is take my scissors and just round it. You know what? It's not going to show. Nobody's going to know. But if you're worried about having a flat edge, just round it. It's okay. It's okay. Let me get the rest of these out. Putting them in their appropriate pile. Okay, this one is this one. This one I have another edge because it's so big and this isn't really the right size paper for it. That's why I'm rounding the edges on those. They come out perfectly when you do it on, you know, a decent sized sheet of paper. Lastly, we're going to cut our white vellum, white powder with the baby pink And for this one, we want to make sure that we get some of number 4 on the white. Want to get as much of the dye as you can on there. So we're going to have 3 layers, right, of each part of the flower. Okay, one more thing to cut. Well, 2 more things to cut. Let me pop this out. The vellum is very beautiful. Just watch. This one popped right out. Look at the detail on it. It flew away right then. Let's see. Let's pop these out. You can just barely see the pink in it. Oop, I missed the hole. This one, it looks like a little heart on the top, doesn't it? So cute. And the last one is up here. Okay. There we go with that. We're done with that piece. But now out of the frayed leaf piece that we took, this beautiful green, we're just going to do the stem and the bud. We're just going to put that right on there and run it through. We'll ink up some of it later. And back. You know, these die cutting machines make some interesting noises, and that's perfectly normal. Don't worry. Now on this piece, it is really delicate. Beautiful, isn't it? Just going to set that aside. And then it comes with 2 separate little pieces. So we're just going to keep those right over there with them for now. Keep our scrap. Always keep your scrap, right? But we're going to do something with it in a minute. We want to take our flower centers and we want to take our pink diamond. And we're just going to ink up a little bit of this for the flower centers with the jazzberry. It's the darkest color of the set. So just do a little corner. And if you get some ink on your mat, you know, fun thing to do is just add a little spritz of water and then take a piece of cardstock and just set it on it, dry it, set it on it, dry it, and you'll get a beautiful design that you can use for background or anything like that. We're going to heat this piece before we put it through our machine. Okay, just to take off most of it. I'm going to take this piece and run the 3 flower centers through it. Same way we did. And now the best part. Let me move this off of here. Sorry about that. That was right in your ear. Did it wake everyone up? Hope so. Andrea said she might pop in, make sure everything's going okay. Wait till I catch her up, right? She will laugh. She's a pro at this. She goes live all the time. I'm just going to move these scraps out of the way. Give myself a little bit of room here. Okay, so we have our 3 flower centers. We have 3 layers of petals for each of the petal sets. And now we're going to get to put them together. Okay, I'm going to bring out a piece of paper to work on. You could use a silicone mat. This is the Craft-A-Flower butterfly Ranunculus. And this shows you how to put them together. See, this has the big triangle right here. That means these pieces, if you put this one down first, this one second, third, fourth, add these pieces, this is what you'll come up with. And it shows you all the different flowers that they have with different symbols. It makes it easy as pie. We're going to do it a little differently today, though. But that's the way that it's intended to be used. But you know what? We're creative, right? So we want to do it however we want to do it is right. Okay. I'm going to start with the bottom layer. Oops. Where did I put my petal hat? There it is. Petal shaper. I'm going to use the middle size, mid-size ball in this. And you need the little foam that comes with it. And we're just going to do some cupping coming inward. And all you need to do is you can run down the leaf and bring it in. Down the leaf or petal, I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. Or you could just come in the middle and push down. And if one side doesn't come, just go to the very base of that one petal. And it folds up beautifully. So let's do that to all of these largest layer. We're just going to put a little, don't even have to roll it, just set it in there. Okay, this one is kind of hanging out low, so I'm just going to set this down at the base of that one. Okay. We're going to do that 3 times here. It does really, on the cardstock, it really moves if you do roll the ball up the petal. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to start and we're going to take our darkest color. We're going to add some liquid adhesive, or you can use a glue dot. If you want to cut tiny little pieces of double-sided tape, you can do that. You could be like Bridget. She likes to do that. Foam tape. If you want an awful lot of dimension in this. I'm not using my petal shaper once I put the glue. I'm just scared that way. And then I'm just going to hold it together for a second and set it on my paper. I'm going to take the next piece. Oops, they're all a mess, aren't they? 1, 2, where's the third little heart on here? Here it is. See the heart right there. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to stand it up right in the center. Stand it up right in the center. See how quickly they stand? Isn't that just amazing? I don't get over that. I just find it amazing each time. I'm going to put some liquid adhesive down in the base. I had a little tear in one of my petals. It's okay. I'm just going to put some extra adhesive on there. I'm going to take my pink diamond piece, set it inside, hold it for a second. Then I'm going to take my white piece, and you're going to alternate the positioning. Like here's the big leaf. I'm not going to stack the big petal. I keep calling them leaves. I did that. This is a funny story. When I went through Altenew's educator certification program, which I loved, by the way, I kept calling on my final project, which is a class, I kept calling the petals leaves and the leaves petals, and I just did the same thing. So that's kind of funny. Okay. Gonna set this aside for a minute. Gonna put the rest of the pieces on here. Gonna stand these guys up. Just pull towards the center. Towards the center. Okay. Are you starting to see the swirls and the dimension and the texture of the embossing powder? It's fabulous. I think we have the best embossing powder. It really is very fine. We have copper, we have antique gold, enchanted gold, clear, you use all the time, right? If you wanted on that card base, when we took the ink pad and swiped the paper, you could have put clear embossing powder to make it shiny. Okay, we're going to take these last 3 of the petals. Got it right this time. Do the last bit right here. Going to start with the pink. And you want it to look nice and full, so remember to rotate around your pieces. There's a little hole right here. See right here, it's not as full right there. So I'm going to put the bigger petal over there. Do the white, and I want to end with the vellum because it's so light and airy and just delicate. Beautiful. You can see the pink just a little on that one. That baby pink is light. I'm just going to pull up the pieces, hold them together for a minute, not even a minute. Okay, oops, that one didn't go all the way down yet. Okay, we're going to take our centers and glue them in here. There's 3 of them. The first one would be the one with the shape, the triangle in this case. Goes right in the center there. The next one is the full piece. It's a full circle where it's filled in. Just lay it on top. And then this one is a very detailed little piece with seeds around the edges, which is really nice. You do want to glue that dries clear, that's for sure. We're going to let her dry for a minute over on the side while we work on our stem and leaves and our bud. And we're going to take some more of the jazzberry out. I always call it jazzleberry. I'm trying really hard not to do that today, but maybe now you'll be calling it jazzleberry too. And I'm going to take one of my blending brushes from Altenew, and there's a bud over here. I'm going to apply some of the jazzberry, and we'll set it heavier at the base, lighter at the top. Look at the green out of there. I'm going to close this back up. The blending brushes by Altenew are a game changer for me. They make inking so easy, so easy. And I'm going to take one of my green brushes, and I'm just going to hit underneath that bud with what I had already on all of the blending meeting places of the different leaves and the stem, the very base, the very top. Okay. You can put them wherever you want, is fine, of course. And then we have these 2 other pieces that came with it. It's really for the base of the flower, but we're going to use them as leaves because our flower is going to be so big and beautiful anyway. And take liquid adhesive. You can see this little piece has an arrow in there. There's a little arrow right here. So where do you think it might go? You got it right there. And you can poke out the arrows. I just wanted to show you it clearly so you could see. Okay, let me get that glue off of there. That's not going to be good. Okay, adhere it on. But now you have an arrow on your leaf. You can't have an arrow on your leaf. So we're going to cover it up with a solid one. You just want to line them up best you can. But you know what? It could be a piece of a flower that has more than one section, right? If you can't line it up right, you're still a rock star. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to bring in our circle, which opens. Why? Because we left part of it off when we were die cutting. We didn't have that part go through. We're going to take our flower and our stem. I'm going to adhere some liquid adhesive to the back. I do have mine going off. I like having the edges go off the paper. But you don't have to if that's uncomfortable for you, or if you don't want to send a bigger envelope or hand deliver it. I'm going to go back under this one a little bit more. Doesn't want to lay down. Okay. I usually stick my acrylic blocks on it, but we're not done yet, so that's okay. I'm going to put some liquid adhesive on the bottom quite a bit. You could use foam tape. Just going to brush up my flower a little bit. And there is your card. Just like this. There we go. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, Traci's Joyful Paper Crafting, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and now I'm on YouTube thanks to you. So I really appreciate your being here, and I thank you for your time. And I hope you will go to Altenew, check out the links in the description. I do have my affiliate link in there. That gives me a small, I earn a little bit when you use it to shop, and it doesn't cost you a penny extra. So I appreciate your support more than anything. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.